In your mind, do you believe Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in sports, period?
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer to me. And here's why. Like, the NFL, everyone knows, is set up for parity. I get that. But the two greatest challenges NFL coaches have to deal with is ego. You've got grown men who are making more money than you. Some of them are making more money than you. How do you manage those guys? He's done it for 2 decades now, better than anybody. And the second thing is, the NFL only has 16 games. You can't have an off night. You can't go earn off 2 nights where that'll get you beat. There is no 7-game series that you get to be a part of where if you go through a 2-game stretch that you play poorly or your guys don't show up, you're still in it. It's one and done in the NFL playoffs. The fact that he has gotten his guys to continuously play at the level that they've played at, remove the ego, pay the right guys, don't pay the right guys, but then also get them to play their best ball on the greatest stage year after year after year after year, and not get tired of success, not get bored with success, to me, separates him from everyone else.
Absolutely agree. I mean, Deion Branch, Teddy Bruschi, Willie, the names and the faces change, and Bill's the same, and Tom's there as well. But to manage that group, to manage those guys, the X's and O's get you a head job, right? Your ability to call plays and all that stuff, that gets you a head job. But staying and sustaining at that position is about managing people, and he's done it better than anybody.
Can I say this? That I don't like to compare pro coaches to college coaches because it's apples and oranges comparison to me. So if we're going to go historically, I don't want to bring John Wooden into the conversation, Gino Auriemma, Nick Saban. Let's stay within the realm of professional sports. The legendary phrase, and I believe it was Bear Bryant who said it in football, is he could take your players and beat his players. He could take his players and beat your players. Look at the number of Pro Bowlers on the Chargers. They beat them in the playoffs and handily. Look at the number of Pro Bowlers on the Chiefs. They went in there and shut them out in the first half. Look at the number of Pro Bowlers on the Rams. They went and shut them out in the Super Bowl in the first half last night. The 2 highest scoring teams in the NFL in the highest scoring season there ever was. Bill Belichick, in my opinion, is without question the best coach in the history of American team sports, and I include Phil. Yeah. Despite the fact that Phil has more championships, and I covered many of them, and I have the ultimate respect for Phil. But Phil had the better team every single time. Phil had Michael. Phil had Shaq and Kobe. He had the better team every time he won. You cannot say that about Belichick.
I've played against Coach Belichick. Obviously, you have, Josh. I think the greatest thing that he does with his players is he takes specific guys, asks them to do a specific thing constantly. Yeah. And if you won't, I'll find somebody who will.
The one thing I would say, too, about all of this is if he is the greatest of all time, as you were saying, that game last night will be pointed to as one of his best, if not maybe his best coached game ever. Everything that he did, he took them completely out of their game. To your point, you can look at all the numbers. It was incredible from start to finish, and some people called it boring. It wasn't if you like good coaching.
And Kansas City game was the same way. The 2 highest scoring teams in the league scored 0 first-half points in consecutive games against the Patriots.